Whenever you're ready.
All righty. Everything's good to go. It looks like we can get started and call this meeting to order at 2:01 p.m. Roll call is first. Chris cannot be here. He's on vacation and we got an email about that earlier. And as for me, I'm here. Lynn?
I want to see if she can hear us.
Lynn?
I'm here.
Okay. There we go. Tina?
I'm here.
Awesome. Cosette?
We have not received an email from Cosette.
Okay, I have not either. Lisa?
Lisa did.
I
come
saw
in.
that, yeah, I saw she rang in. Lisa, can you hear us? Is there any way to?
Let me see if I can messenger and not mess with this. Keep going,
Yeah.
and I will.
And Michaela?
Here.
All righty, we're gonna try to troubleshoot real quick and see if we can get in touch with Lisa to make sure she can hear us and see everything that's going on.
We can. Well, if you want to move forward, that's fine. I'm just going to log in here and shoot her a message.
Okay. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, visible,
Indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
All right. And can you bring me the agenda up there? I can, for some reason, can't bring it up on my phone.
There you go.
Okay. And do I hear a motion? Oh,
That's me.
oh, okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda? We might actually release on this one, since it's a vote.
Yeah, you'll need to vote for the approval of the agenda.
Yep. 1 second while we try to see if we can get a hold of Lisa here, and then we'll move on to the approval of the agenda.
I haven't gotten a response yet. You still have a quorum with 4, even if
Okay.
Lisa's not there, so you can go ahead and vote.
Okay. All right, we're still having some trouble getting hold of Lisa, so, but we still have quorum. So do I hear a motion to move on to the approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
So I'll second that then.
motion and second. And all those in favor of approving the agenda as written?
Okay. Lisa said she's here, but she's trying to figure out tech issues. So
Okay. All righty. Sounds good. And it looks like we have 4 in favor of approving the agenda.
This is Tina. I'm trying
Okay.
to work my video here.
Okay, that makes 5. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, and next is approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve those?
these were from June 5th.
Or from June 5th, yeah, from 2 months ago.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion from Lynn,
I'll second it.
second from Kayla. Perfect. All those in favor of approving the June 5th minutes? Aye, that's 4. Lisa, can you hear us still?
She said she's gonna get on a different computer and she says, "I."
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. All righty, and where are we at next? For some reason, I can't bring it up on my phone today.
So next we are for public comment. We do not have any members of the public in attendance either via Zoom or in person.
All right, perfect. No presentations, no public hearings, no action items, but the workshops is where we will continue our discussion about the revitalization project and the review of submissions for the utility box wrap. We will also be reviewing the policies and procedures, but workshop item A.
Yes. So item A is we're going to be reviewing the submissions for the utility box. I did send out the scorecard that's been updated. Okay, everyone should see it there. So everyone should have gotten that a couple hours ago. If you need one, please let me know. Or you can just let me know your scores. I'm going to be keeping them on a master sheet here as well. But this is designed to kind of help you work through it. So again, a few months ago, we went over and decided how we were going to score these. So we're going to score them on a 30-point scale. So the first 10 points is going to be residence. So whether or not the submission meets the residency requirement we established within the call to artists. The second is whether the submission meets all the requirements of the format that was presented in the call to artists. And third, whether or not the submission adheres to the theme that was described within that call to artists there. So we did receive, I'm going to say 10 submissions, even though it's more than that, because some people submitted more than one, but we received submissions from 10 different individuals. They were within your packet, and we will hold them up here. And just for the sake of going through this, I will say the name and address of the person who submitted. Instead, this is an older list. I did mention in the email I sent out that we were trying to get additional information, and we have received some. So a lot of those not provided are now filled out. But the first submission is here. Let me move this. So submission 1 was submitted by Jamie Cunningham. Jamie submitted, I believe, 3 submissions. Yes, 3 submissions. Jamie provided her residency as 6621 North Campbell Road in Otis Orchards, Washington. So that would be outside of the residency requirements that were outlined within the call to artists.
Okay. Yeah, just looking at those, I don't know about the rest of the conditioners. I'm a little bit worried that those are AI generated pieces there. Which we might want to discuss the overall idea of AI generated pieces. I don't think that was anything we really. Oh. I don't know if that was anything any of us had anticipated as commissioners, and it's really surged lately in terms of app use and stuff. People are able to type in 3 or 4 words and create stuff like this possibly. So, but obviously this one doesn't fit within the boundary anyhow, but what is everybody else's thoughts on AI generated pieces, that sort of thing?
This is Tina. I'm not in favor of AI generated images, especially for this project.
Yep.
Also too, in general, the first submission, in my opinion, didn't really speak Airway Heights to me. And all, and I'm referring to all 3 images that I reviewed for that.
Yeah.
There we go. So,
I would say I'm not in favor for AI work at all.
Right.
Because of the copyright issues we could get into with artists. if we use
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's also the
And-
point is pay actual artists that live
Yeah.
here, right? You know, people who are
Yeah.
actually committed to their craft, to, you know, doing what it takes to be an artist. And AI just that fair to the artists who are actually doing the work.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's kind of my thoughts as well. I'm not in favor of AI pieces and just in terms of paying the artist, but in this, I mean, it's the app doing the work. So it would definitely lead to problems, I think, down the road. So is there any way we could work some language into our submissions and that could eliminate that possibility or?
Well, I think that what we're seeing is that all these images, I don't know if they've been scanned in or what, but it's difficult to tell what media they're using for this. Are they photographs? Are they, you know, pen and pencil art? I mean, you know, we need to know what the media is as well. That would cut AI out right there.
I agree. I think that's a good little addition to have in there is to know what the artists are working with. Yeah.
Right, and we should also reserve the right to see the original art before we, you know what I mean? Either a picture of it up on a wall or a picture of it in some sort of, you know, display space of some sort.
I agree with that too.
It's always nice to see an art in process. So, you know, if somebody had, for instance, you know, they had done a pencil drawing of this and then they had added some gouache and they had added some watercolor and then they showed the source of their images and they had a real connection with the images that they were producing, that would definitely, I think, help us to feel more confident about what we're putting out there is authentic.
Yeah, but sometimes people don't they already have done the art and then they say, hey, this works for this contest or this display that somebody wants. They might not have that, you know, that chronological documentation for their artwork. So if they just go ahead and we see it in a display, not a PDF, not that, just like take a picture of it hanging on a wall or sitting on a desk or something, so that we can actually know that it's, you know, real artwork.
Okay, I think we can all agree that the first submission, we can just go ahead and on to the next.
We should probably score everything. I mean, you can score that as it pertains to format and theme. I mean,
Okay.
but you should probably score everything just to be
Okay.
consistent, I think.
Yep. All right. So even though it's outside of the area and stuff, we should score it in terms of format and theme, just to be fair to all the submissions, whether they're.
Yeah. So outside a resident, then I'm gonna mark everyone as 0 unless someone wants to give partial credit. I guess I don't know how that would work.
Okay.
So is everyone okay with a score of 0 out of 10 for residents on this first submission?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And in terms of format, this is just a file that was sent over, correct? There was no formatting done, so I don't think it was done to fit the format we had been asking for. So, and as I was looking through, there was only one that was formatted correctly. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, so you can look at that and say, well, the format's it's good enough to where we can convert it if you want to give like partial credit, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but that's within your discretion.
All right. What are Commissioner thoughts on the format for submission 1?
I mean, I personally give it a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, that's max for me. Also, just because Plus, yeah, I mean, just the format of it with it looking AI generated takes away from it, I think, as well. So,
You're still looking at a box, right? A utility box, right?
yeah,
So this is a bit complicated to wrap around. I mean, even though whether AI generated or whatever, it's a bit, I think that the message might get lost as it wraps around the utility box. So besides, all the other things, I think we just need to think of the practical side as well, as far as, what kind of impact is it going to have on the community? Are they going to get the message? If this wraps around, probably not. So maybe we should see how effective it is as on the installation it is as it stands. Because this might work as great as a mural, right? We were talking about putting murals on the sides of buildings, doing some painting, that kind of thing. So this kind of a theme, this kind of color scheme really is attractive. I think you've got the earthy tones, the native feel to it as well. So I think that helps, but it's kind of a complicated image to put on a utility box.
yep. Yep, I agree with that as well. Michaela had suggested a 3 for format score. I'm agreeable to that. What is everybody else's kind of thoughts on strictly the format score?
And everyone can vote individually if they want. So if
Oh,
you want to give it
okay.
a 5, some people want to give it a 0, that's fine. I'm
Okay,
calculating everyone individually, so.
Okay. Well, in terms of format, and I just have this thing here you gave me, so
Mhm.
just if this works.
Yeah, so I got a bigger one, so I'm telling everyone.
Okay,
So you can just say it out loud and I'll grab it.
okay.
So I have, Michaela at a 3. Lisa, did you have a number on 1 to 10? Or excuse me, 0 to 10 regarding format for this piece, for these pieces?
I'd give it a 3. That's a good score.
That's where I'm at as well.
You want to go 3?
Yeah,
Tina,
I'll
did you
also
have a
go 3.
number?
This is Tina, and I'll also go 3.
And Lynn,
3.
3? Gotcha.
okay, and next is speaking on the theme, and I think Tina, you said something about you didn't think this fit the feel of Airway Heights, is that?
I
what you-
didn't. I mean, it has a, I know with the airplanes and everything that, but still to me, that's more towards Fairchild exclusively and not
Yep.
Airway Heights.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the Native American feel to it. However, the Native Americans depicted in here aren't from our area.
Yeah,
And so again, I score really low on that area. So in fact, I would go as low as 2.
yeah, and I mean, with the other submissions, they threw bison with jet wings in there, which is a cool thought, I guess, but but I don't know that it speaks Airway Heights.
No.
No, and those jets that we're looking at right now look like there's something from Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry, but I don't like the fangs on the buffalo. I just don't.
yeah, yeah, they're
Well,
pretty wild.
they're grazers. They're not carnivores. So I'm like,
Right.
oh no, that's a really mean buffalo. And we don't even have buffalo out here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's
Flying
not a
buffalo.
lot of bison out on the ranges around here, so. But yeah, I know I am going to go. Yeah, probably a 2 or 3 on this one.
I'd go,
It just
I'd go no.
doesn't.
I'd go nothing. I don't even like that.
Yeah, I'll go 2.
2?
I guess,
Okay.
if even that, it's hard to say.
Lynn, on a scale of 0 to 10, where are you at?
I'm gonna say 2.
Okay. And Tina, you said 2, but was that your final vote?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit generous. I will say 2. I get where the artist might have, had a vision of, why they submitted these pieces. But again, it's just not hitting our theme.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yep.
Lisa, were you at a 0 or did you want to?
I am a 0. I'm sorry. I'm an artist. And I'm telling you right now, that's just not gonna be something that can work for what we want. So
Yeah.
Michaela, where are you at on, and in terms of theme?
A 1.
And just
Okay.
for another suggestion that I just came up with when Tina made her last comment was maybe we should ask them for a narrative of what the art is supposed to depict and why
Yeah.
they picked that selection to submit.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, a sentence or two would be extremely helpful to us, I believe, as well, so.
Again, though, I feel like this is like more AI generated kind of cartoonish, like somebody did not actually draw all those little hairs or try to, um, create that image. It's more computer generated, which I think I still feel like we're trying to get more to original artwork
Yeah,
than
yeah, definitely. Okay, submission 2.
Sorry, I can't zoom any further out on this. So submission 2 is from an artist named Kobe Jennings. Kobe is given us a contact address of 23309 East Maxwell Avenue in Liberty Lake, Washington. So this is another one that is outside of our residency map for the submission area.
All righty, well, I'll start things off with a 0 for residency then. Okay.
Yeah, I think that residency or not, I think it should be a 0 or a 10. Either they meet the requirement or they don't.
Yep.
Yeah. If you guys are okay with that, I can just skip that question then and just go 0 or 10, but I wanted to give you the opportunity, so. Okay, we'll do that.
Yep. 0s across the board there. And in terms of format, did this individual have multiple submissions?
So
or-
this does, but it looks like it may be 2 sides. So this
Right.
is the first side and this is the second side. And again, I apologize for I can't zoom out any further on these.
Yep. That's perfectly fine. In terms of format, yeah. It's 2 sides. It looks like it might be able to fit what we would need, but I don't. Yeah. I'm probably gonna go pretty low on format score for that one again. Just because it's abstract, so if you would try to wrap it around the box, how would it end up looking? Where would the lines end up leading, that sort of thing? It's really hard to read that on this in terms of format, so probably gonna go with a 2 myself on format for this one. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree, a 2.
I guess it would be nice to have artist statements, but I'm not really sure if this is supposed to be lyrical or what it has to do with.
Well, that's theme, and we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, all I can say that about. The rest of them as well. Okay.
So Tina, did you have a score in mind for format?
Yeah, for this one, I just, this one was 0s all the way across.
Okay. Lisa, I'm sorry, did you have a score for format on this?
I'll rate this one a 0 as well. I think we're just kind of lost with it. It looks lyrical and musical, but not really appropriate for what we're.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And
Michaela, did you have a format on this?
Yeah, I gave it 0s all the way across for all 3 categories.
Okay. So then you can discuss
Yep.
theme. I need
yeah,
you, Lynn, and Lisa for theme.
yep, I put a 0 on theme just because this is very abstract.
Sure.
There's I mean, I can see the artistic value in it in general, but not for what we need. So yeah, I went with a 0 on theme just because there's nothing that speaks airway heights or anything, nothing relative to airway heights. So
Sure. Lynn, did you have a score for theme?
Theme is 0.
And Lisa for theme?
I would say that it was 0, yeah.
Okay.
okay, submission 3.
So submission 3 has, I believe, 4 separate submissions here. This was submitted by Ron and Marcia Feller. They live in 821 Donatella Lane in Airway Heights. I believe it's the Cedar Estate Apartments over off Paper. So they are local. They did, in their email, when they did submit these, they basically said, here are some of our designs. If you like them, please let me know. We can format it correctly and get there. So they did offer that. This first one is here. Second one is a photograph of a piece they did. A couple of these are sculpture pieces. There's another sculpture piece. And then I believe that is the last one, the sun there. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the last one here.
That one has like a little watermark or something.
Yeah, there's something
Photo editor or something.
in there.
Okay. But
Yep.
so were they submitting like photos? Is that what they were,
The way I read their email is that
or they could
they
digital files?
they were submitting something basically like, here's our style, here's what we do. If you like it, let us know and we can design something specific for this.
Okay. Well, they live in the area, so that's a good start.
So they do meet the residency requirement.
Yeah, they do meet the residency requirements, so go with that.
They're getting 10s across the board on that one.
And on that one. So in terms of format, that's an interesting thing because they're willing to format anything, but they don't quite have it done yet.
Yeah.
Oof. And my question for you, I guess, if we only have one block for submission 3, are we narrowing it down to 1 out of the 5 or?
We can review them individually if you'd like.
Because we might.
Especially with this where it's kind of abstract, where they're not actually submitting one specific design, they're more just like submitting a vibe, I guess. It's hard for me to really, this is kind of the growing pains we're learning here.
Yeah.
So if we want to look at them individually, that's totally fine. I can put that together and we can just do like sub scores based on form and theme for each individual one.
Okay.
But whatever you want to do, we can make it work.
Yeah, I think that would be fair, because I don't just want to pick one out and disregard the rest.
Sure.
I don't know that, I mean, in our call, we were asking for art specifically.
Yeah.
So my feelings are is they didn't necessarily follow the rules if this is just a portfolio of what they can do versus a specific piece or 2 or 3 that they're submitting for this specific project. It's not fair to other artists who didn't just go, hey, here's my whole portfolio. Do you like it? Versus, you know, that's kind of how I feel about this. All of their submissions is it's not really fair, not really what we asked for. We asked for something specific for this project, and the other seem to have tried to do it specifically for this project. So it's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, just kind of a throw it out there and see what sticks kind of thing. You know, interestingly, that we'll get down to it, but there's a submission a little bit lower that I kind of like, although I don't know why, but no, there's some good, there's 1 or 2, well, 1 that I like. But otherwise I feel like maybe we didn't make the guidelines clear enough, or, you know, maybe it's just that we're not casting our net far enough. I'm not sure. but
I
yeah.
thought the guidelines were pretty clear. I think that, you know, if people don't want to put any work into this and just give us pictures from their portfolio, that's not really, there's not
Yeah.
any investment in that from anybody.
Right, because I mean, and clearly in the next, you'll see in the next few submissions and submission like 6, clearly, not from our, not from the area, however, went by the guidelines completely.
Right. Well, yeah, in terms of format for these, with it just being photos of other projects, and I think the one was like a photo edit app, it looked like, the purple one. You can see the watermarks all through the center of it too, which
So,
makes me wonder if it was a design that was just repeated in a cell phone app. But none of them fit the formatting that we had asked for in the call. So in terms of format, I'm gonna go pretty low again. Probably go with the 1.
Yeah, I'm at a 0.
I'm at a 0 too.
Lisa, did you have a score in mind?
so we're voting on, that's submission 3.1. Is that what we're doing, or submission, which submission are we voting on? 3.5, which one?
I think we're looking at all of the submissions from that person from 3 regarding
Yeah.
format.
Regarding format, because none of them were really
Well,
formatted.
and just design wise, I would say they're probably not aligned with what we're kind of, our vision is with what we're thinking here, so.
Did you have a score in mind for formatting between 0 and 10?
Yeah.
0? Okay, gotcha. I'm just making sure, guys. Michaela, did you have a score in mind?
0 on format and 0 on theme.
Okay.
No.
And we're not getting too inspired here.
Yeah, I was gonna go for a 0 on theme as well, because most of it is just kind of random.
Sure.
Doesn't speak Airway Heights in any form that I can tell.
Mhm.
So yeah, in terms of theme, I'm gonna go with a 0 on that one.
Okay. Lynn, did you have a score for theme?
0.
And Tina
0.
and Lisa for theme.
0, yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. So that is submission 3. Submission number 4.
Submission 4.
It's just the one submission here, so it kind of starts there. And right. Yeah.
No,
5.
I'm not, the whole thing is about the lavender, because we don't have. I wish we had.
We're not the lavender capital of the world or anything.
I
So
was gonna
submission,
lavender, but I, in all of my little, I haven't seen it. I don't know how that relates, so.
submission
And I
number
don't know-
4. Sorry,
Yeah.
this is Peyton Hudson. Peyton lives on 13130 West Pacific Avenue in Airway Heights. So this person does meet the residency requirement.
Okay, they get a 10 for that.
Yeah,
It's wonderful. And I like the colors and, the pattern and the texture. I
But
think-
are these stock photos that somebody just took and did this with?
that's a good question.
Looks like it, because you can actually see the photos, like if, for instance, in the bottom frame, the very large one at the bottom, you can see it's just repeated from the frame
Yeah.
up top left, and then it's kind of repeated up at the top right, and then just taking little sections and kind of
Cropping,
juxtaposing.
repeating them.
So it's
Yeah.
not really, and we don't have that kind of landscape here, so I'm not really sure where that came from, but I love lavender.
Well, we all
And-
could recognize what it was too. I mean, that was a good thing about it, but it just not, I would give it a 0 for theme, because
Yeah.
We're not a lavender type city. I know there was a lavender festival somewhere close by, like within a couple hour drive from here, but not here in Airway Heights.
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
just-
I agree on that theme score. I'll have a 0 for that as the theme as well. It seems like a great piece to put in front of a park that has lavender, but but just for the city in general, it doesn't seem to fit. And in terms of format, they don't have any of the formatting specifics. It's just a file, correct?
Yes, it's
Okay.
just a file.
Yeah, with no measurements or anything, so. In terms of format. I like how it's kind of edited to have the blocks and stuff where you could see how those lines would make different angles and stuff on the box, but it's still not formatted for what we like, so I'm gonna go with a 2 myself on the format score.
I'd say a 2 as well.
Oh, just give me zeros all the way around.
Okay. Tina, did you have a thought on the format or the theme of submission 4?
I think the format, the way it's laid out right there, that could be wrapped anyway. So that I would also give it maybe a 3, but the theme is a 0.
And Michaela, did you have any thoughts on format and theme for submission 4?
Like a 2 on format and a 0 on theme.
Okay. Okay,
And
moving on.
5.
Submission 5. So submission 5 has 2 separate pieces. This is the first piece,
Ooh.
and this is the second piece. Submission 5 was submitted from Haley Fry. Haley lives at 17902 West Burnett Road, which is in 9 Mile Falls, Washington. This does actually qualify. She is within our map since we had that one block group that went all the way up to the southern edge of Long Lake. So yeah, I'll let you guys discuss.
Okay, so she does fit in the residency blocks, so she
Yes, so she'll get her residency points.
gets points for that.
Because this looks like it's from 2 completely different artists and 2 completely different styles of and approaches to
Yeah,
solution. And so the top one is at 5.1 with a little soft. I actually, even though it could be stronger in some ways, I actually really like that one because I think that it would be an effective wrap, and it's artistic. It looks very
is it upside down?
well.
No,
Water,
Trees, so she's got a little thing going on here with the trees going both ways and the rocks, like you're looking from a perspective as though
yeah,
it's thrown, like you're looking over the top.
looks like a waterfall.
yeah,
That too. But I like the color palette. I like the neutrals and how they've combined it. And as you're thinking
It's
about
ups-
in terms of a wrap around a utility box, I think it would be very aesthetically pleasing. So you'd be able to actually kind of get the sense of the artist and the creation. It would make a good wrap. I don't know what it looks like as far as dimensions and that kind of thing, what she did with the submission. The one below it, I'm not really sure. Was that supposed to be like also part of the wrap, or it was supposed to be a separate wrap, right? That was a separate submission.
yeah, both of them were from the same artist. I think the second one looks like it was digital though, because the colors are so bold and stuff in that second one, it almost looks like it was a digital painting or something.
Well, it almost looks like they were trying to incorporate some of the outlines of the casino and some of the towers, and some of the native fixtures in part of that. So it's definitely a different approach to the solution that we're looking for. So, but out of the 2, I like the one on top better, the 5.1. So
I would be more positive.
And I think we're gonna try to flip that one real quick to see if we.
Out of 10, I would probably give that a 6 out of 10 in terms of so we've got, I don't know what it has in terms of format, but as far as originality and just, you know, having a little bit of creative spirit and kind of getting the essence of the West Plains, I'd say that they did a fairly good job there. So
Yeah, I'm trying to wonder what, I mean, we have a few waterfalls, but not right here
I
in
know.
Airway.
So the whole thing is that we actually live on ancient riverbed here. So
Yeah,
you know, as I dig up rocks and stuff, there are round boulders and round pebbles that tell you right there that we're on ancient riverbed. So that doesn't bother me at all. We don't necessarily have waterfalls right here, but water is everywhere. In fact, this whole area has got quite a bit of conservation.
it's actually got a couple, what looks like cave pockets in there, and I wonder if it's Mystic Falls, which is right down by Indian Canyon. I've taken pictures of that waterfall a bunch, and it's got two little caves, so I actually wonder if that's what's represented there, because it is pretty close, actually. And just in terms visually, it really looks like Mystic Falls. And yeah, I agree in terms of formatting, this is pretty universal. You could wrap it and it would,
Yeah,
you'd be able to see the story as you looked at all the sites.
It's got a nice palette. It's got a nice consistency. It has an originality to it. There's depth in there with some of the shadows, and you know, got the grasses and the earth tones. So I think depending on what we want to do, it's not, you know, specific like airplanes and that kind of thing, but it's definitely speaks to the area, definitely speaks to the native landscape.
Okay, in terms of format,
Yeah.
It does look like Mystic Falls. I just pulled up,
yeah,
Googled Mystic Falls, and it does look like Mystic Falls.
yeah, that was my thought, but obviously we didn't get any terminology from the artist to describe that,
Right.
but that was my thoughts. It seems recognizable in that aspect. But yeah, in terms of format, I'm gonna go a little higher on this one because it seems pretty universal. But there still will be some work in terms of finding the measurements and stuff like that. So I'm gonna split the difference and go with a 5 on format for this one.
That's where I was at with format was 5. And then I went ahead with an 8 because I just kind of see more of the history of the land base there. So
Yeah.
I really like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the second submission that the individual submitted, I think they're just doing one theme. Again, we want to stay with Airway Heights in general and not just focusing on one element of Airway Heights.
Yeah.
And to me, this is either depicting either of the casinos more than it's depicting Airway Heights in general.
Yeah.
So I gave it, for the theme, I gave it a 4, and then format 2.
Okay, and that was on 5.2, I think she was.
Yes.
Yep. Yep, on this one for theme, on 5.1 for theme, yeah, I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I mean, I like the balance in color and just the atmosphere that you feel when I look at it. So yeah, I'm gonna go with an 8 as well on that one for theme.
I would agree. Yeah, you know what? It's so funny because I never knew it was there. Now I'm gonna have to go find it. I didn't know, I mean, we're not very far from it. I didn't know there was I've never been to Mystic Falls.
Yeah, Mystic Falls is a nice little waterfall. It's kind of a hike to get down into the valley, and then you have to follow the creek back up to the waterfall. But it's such a fun little place, and those two little caves are almost spot on for when you go down there, you can actually see them. You can go sit in the caves and everything, so it definitely feels like it's close to the area and it represents something nearby, so.
Yeah, I like that. Cool, okay.
Okay. Matt, did you have ratings for 5.2?
Yeah, in terms of format, a 4, and in terms of theme, probably a 3. Because I like the bold colors and stuff, but it definitely seems like it's only trying to target, say, one aspect of the area instead of the entirety. I really love the way they did the sky, though.
Yeah, this guy looks
Just
great.
in general, the sky for that piece is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, we have
Lynn,
such a
did you-
beautiful sunset, so that, it's a great way, actually, the sunset's probably the best part of the whole piece right there.
Yeah.
And that's
Lynn, did
why I
you-
rated it as a 4, because I thought just the sunset alone would be beautiful wrapped.
Right?
But,
Yes,
yeah.
I agree, that's a great idea.
Lynn, did you have format and theme for either of these?
For the first one, I do. I would say for format, I would say a 6, and for theme, I give it an 8. And for this one, I'd say a 5 for format and a 5 for theme.
Lisa, did you have scores for these?
Okay, so let's see. I'm not sure about the format. I'm not sure. It looks like it's fairly close. I'd say probably, 5 for a format. I'd say a 2 for a theme. I just don't feel like I'd love it if it was, if they'd done a little bit something different with the landscape part of it, but otherwise, and the colors are awesome, but I'd have to say about a 2 for that one.
Okay. Did you have scores for 5.1 here as well?
Oh,
Sorry, it's upside down.
oh, I did. Yeah, I definitely give that one, although it's upside down there. I definitely give that one. I give that one an 8 for theme, and I'm not sure about format, but it looks like it'd be pretty close. And I think it could be adapted. So I don't think take too much trouble. I give that one a solid 6 for format. And then what was the other category?
The last is residence, but that's automatic, and this person did get the full 10 for residence. So
Well, I like this one. I really like this one. Yeah, I think it could be adapted.
Michaela, did you have scores for these two?
Yeah, I gave them both 5s for formats. I gave 5.1 a 7 for theme and 5.2 a 5 for theme.
Got it. Okay, cool. Moving on to number 6. Number 6, there are, I believe, 2 separate proposals. Sorry, I'm trying to see where I numbered these, and I'm having to move a box with all of your faces around a little bit, so I apologize. So this is
The one from Milwaukee, is that correct?
yes. So this is from Rosa Cruz, who currently lives in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So the residency points are not going to be here. Okay, here's the full. So this is 6.1.
Okay, yeah, there's
And
one.
this is the sides of 6.1. And then this is 6.2. I guess there's 3, I'm sorry. And there are the sides. And then this is 6.3.
No, that's got to be different. That's got to be completely different artists, right? Incredible
They were
geological.
submitted together. That's
So
all I can-
what it looks like she's doing in this is that she's just giving an example of what to use.
I mean, this is what she submitted. She did submit the letter discussing the submissions.
Okay, so now
I
there's a
love how they
total
figured everything out.
heights here to begin with. But the incredible geological landscape with the pillar basalt, I actually kind of like those. And I think they could be a very strong image on a utility box. I really like them. The rest of it, the submission 6.1 with all the hummingbirds and all.
Seems a
No.
little bit much. Yeah, it's,
No, that's totally disconnected from this area. This
yeah.
connection what's, I love the little quail. I wish I mean, we do have quail here. I just adore them. But this is definitely not, but I love the pillar basalt. That is, I mean, I'm a total rock hound, so that's one of the things about the landscape around here, which I feel is one of our strong suits, if you will, is we just have these incredible geological features. And I like, I mean, I'm not sure about the design itself, but I really like the colors. I like how the wrap would probably, I think it would be a very strong image, even though the fact that she's from, so this is the same artist with the incredible geological landscape, right? Is that what you're saying? Those are the same two artists with the Welcome to Airway Heights and the incredible geological landscape. They're the same people.
Yeah,
Okay. So yeah, so she'd have to get 0 for residency, but I could definitely see the image working for a wrap. So, and I don't know about format. That's the only thing. It looks like she's thought that out.
yeah, I like how everything looks like it's measured per side and such with the design. But I'm with you, like the first couple seem just almost like they cut stuff out and just pasted it wherever they wanted to on the design. Also, I'm a little with all the different fonts right there where it says welcome to the city of, I mean, every word almost is a different font plus the quotation. It doesn't seem to fit the theme. But yeah, basalt is all over the place.
Yeah, no, that is, I think that's one of the wonderful parts about this area is we've just got some beautiful geographical features. But no,
Do
we
they have it formatted out as well?
They provided some information on all of their designs showing the sides. So the actual format submission on these arts is technically very good.
Yeah,
well, and proportional. I really like how they did the front and the side perspectives. Those are very strong images. I like those. I think those are going to be really good. From whatever way you view them. I like that a lot.
Would you like to review these individually or as a package for this one?
probably individually. Because I think the one that might actually fit is what Lisa's speaking of, the basalt. These first two seem a little bit cluttered, at least to me, theme wise, but that one seems where it's open enough where it would look really good wrapped around a box, I think.
Right, and if you look below, see the front and the side views, I'm looking at those and I mean, she just isolated parts of that in that original painting. So you've got the side view, which is the end of that little escarpment there, and you've got, the front section, which is kind of the middle. They're all very strong images, which is really nice when you're talking about something like, the utility box. You can't get too complicated. You can't get too involved. And then, the other images do not look like Heights at all. I mean, I love the vibrancy and the colors and the, the flowers and all of that. I don't know, it's kind of a little bit of an oasis, if you will, but that's really not, we don't have trout. I think trout swam here back, 1,000 years ago, but I did see a bunny in my backyard not too long ago. And I see quail, but yeah, it's just, it doesn't seem like she's connected to what the area actually encompasses.
And the wonderful thing about this area is a lot of people might dismiss it because it's just rocks and sage and that kind of thing, but it has a beauty of its own. And I feel like that's kind of what they're capturing here a little bit with the pillar basalt. So I like it.
Okay, and in terms of format for this image, the incredible.
Well, let me start at this.
Stop. Yeah,
Yeah,
stop.
let's go down and we'll do them all together. I just want to make sure I'm getting the right pieces here. Okay, this is all gonna be. We'll get the big ones. There we go. So,
6.1.
yeah, let's do 6.1 for format and theme.
6.1 in terms of format.
It looks like a
Because
five.
it-
The format.
Yeah, and they did do a lot of work in terms of measuring off the ends and trying to provide that too. So, I mean, in terms of formatting, they did bring a pretty strong effort. This particular image in terms of format seems like it might get a little funny depending on how it was laid across the utility box. I'm gonna go with a 7 for format. Or 6.1 anyway.
Lynn, did you have a thought on format on this image?
I would say because they gave it the old college try and try to help us visualize what it would look like around the other two sides of the box, and I would give it an 8 for format, but I would only give it a 4 for theme.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 3 on theme, I think, just because it's so cluttered.
Sure.
I'm gonna go,
Tina, did you have thoughts on 6.1?
Yeah, the format is, I'm gonna say it's a 10 just because I'm working with other utility box projects that they submitted the dimensions and everything appropriately. Also, too, the theme is there. But my thought on the entire submission is, we do have local artists who have submitted their art. And for us to accept from, I guess an art studio that, they are well versed in projects such as this. I just think the playing field we're taking away from our local artists with this, even though I would highly score this submission, I wouldn't feel right about choosing them as number 1.
Well, you wouldn't choose them as number 1 because they get a 0 for residency. Out of
Right.
10.
Right.
Kind of a
So we're
control.
this.
So
Yeah,
I'm
this
just gonna
is
go with the
not gonna be the
format
winner.
across the board for all 3 of their submissions. I'll do 10s for all 3 of those. But when we're going to the theme, I like the botanical, the biodiversity. I think the second one, 6.2, I believe it is too busy. So I would give that one a 3. And then the last one, I would go with the theme. I think we could choose a real beautiful geological image from our area. So I would go for a 7 in that.
Okay, what was your theme for this one? I'm sorry, the 6.1.
Oh, I'm sorry. That one, I'll go a 6.
Gotcha. Okay. Lisa, just for 6.1 here, did you have thoughts on format or theme for scores?
I would say 0, 0, 0, 0. They're not from here. I feel like the images are absolutely manufactured. You've got these pasted on animals and stuff stuffed in. I feel like it's just, let's go ahead and throw some stuff in there. I've been an artist for all my life, but especially a professional artist for the past 40 years. And I have to say, this does not appeal to me at all. I could get on Shutterstock and I could pick out some stock photography for the background. I could cut and paste some geese. I could throw in some flowers and some poppies and stick a moose on a rock and a rabbit on a rock. And that to me does not speak to Spokane. It doesn't speak to this area, it doesn't speak to the West Plains. Doesn't speak to anything about what we're doing here. There's no investment in the community as far as what we're about. So I would give all of this a 0. And that's just me. Thanks.
Okay, is that just 6.1 or is that in all 3 of them? I'm sorry.
6.1 and whatever, so they had, let's see, 6.2, there was, yeah, so all the way up to, I like 6.3, I do not like I don't like 6.2, none of this looks like Airway Heights to me, it all looks like cut and paste, let's throw some, it's so like a scrapbook. That's what it looks like to me as a scrapbook picture.
Yeah.
Like, let's just put some, let's scrapbook Airway Heights, and this is what it looks like. And there's nothing there of any kind of substance.
Okay, we'll come back to 6.3 then. Michaela, did you have thoughts on 6.1?
Yeah, I actually gave formatting a 10 for all 3 pieces. I think the formatting is really well done for what we can expect for a submission like this. But I have similar concerns about the theme, just as in, part of the whole part of this is that we're doing local artist for local art. And I'm not sure an outside artist really understands us. Nothing, it's kind of jumbled. So I gave all 3 pieces a 0 on theme. Just doesn't feel like it's what we're looking for.
Okay.
Okay.
So then for Matt, for 6.2, what did you have?
Yeah, yeah, the formatting is real strong. I'll go with an 8 there. I don't want to go for the 10 just because of those non-local concerns. But and yeah, in terms of theme, yeah, that one's a 0 because yeah, the fonts are all different. There's no glue holding it together, I guess.
Sure. Okay. Lynn, did you have thoughts for format and theme on 6.2?
Yeah, an 8 for format and a 0 for theme.
Okay. I think I got everybody else for 6.2. So then the last one is 6.3. So Matt.
I'll go with an 8 again on formatting, just because they did that really well across the board. In terms of theme, yeah, that's all through Eastern and Central Washington. So, I mean, it's not super specific to Airway Heights, but more the region. So I'll go with a 4 for theme on that one.
Lynn, did you have format and theme for 6.3?
Yeah, format 8. I give the theme a 5.
And then 6.3, Lisa, for format and theme for this one. I know you like this one.
I'd give it a format of 8, and I would say a theme of 8. I think it could be actually pretty adaptable.
Okay.
As long as I'm a little concerned about the resolution, there's some pixelation up in the top part, and I'm not sure. I'd have to actually see the original file or kind of inspect it to see what they did as far as quality, because I'm not sure if it's just how it was rendered here for our presentation. But definitely want to make sure that the quality was there. But I think it could definitely work. So.
Yeah, there was some compression when we put it into the packet, so I don't know how much of that spilled over into this piece, but if you'd like, I can send you the original.
Yeah, no problem. If we get closer to the decision point.
Okay, so this is submission 7. So submission 7, I believe there are 2 different submissions here. So submission 7 is from Ashley Bleak, who is located at 9426 West Ballesteros Court in Cheney, Washington. So this artist does get the residency points that she's from Cheney. And again, I apologize, it won't let me zoom out any further. So here's 1. And then this is 2.
Residency points are there. In terms of format, they're general boxes that are going to be wrapped around a box, but they aren't really formatted like we would, like we had asked, I guess, or so I'm going to go with a 4 on format. And on the first one for theme, it literally says Fairchild, so it's definitely more geared towards that. So on the first one, I'll go with a 4 on format and a 2 on theme.
Lynn, did you have thoughts on the formatting and theme for this first piece here?
Yeah, I would say the format is a 3. And the theme here looks like it's for Medical Lake instead of Airway Heights. So I don't know what number to give it. I would say a 2.
Tina, what were your thoughts on this first piece here?
Mine are the same for 3 and for format and 2.
Lisa, did you have thoughts on this first piece?
I would agree. Yes. But I have to say, I'm just really enjoying the colors and the way that the artist, you know, with a little skywriting thing and just I don't know, the color palette is really cool. I like the float plane landing in the water. I know it's not going to work for us. I guess I'm just really admiring the thought behind it, you know, just the color palette and kind of how they combined a bit of the old and the new. But no, I'd have to say we're gonna have to go with I'd say a 2 on format and a 3 on theme. But with my compliments, I think it's actually pretty cool. I think it was a great effort.
Michaela, what were your thoughts?
I would give it a 3 for format and a 3 for theme.
Okay,
I like it.
go down here to the second submission.
It looks like the exact same format. For
Sorry,
the
I thought
first
they were doing
step.
both. I thought this was like one side and the other was the other side. So that
Is
was.
that what it is? Yeah.
It
Yeah,
might be.
I wasn't thinking that it was a separate submission. I was looking at both of them. So yeah, as far as format, it probably wouldn't wrap around right, but I like the fact, I like how they both tie together. You know, and the color, it's just really cool. I just really like what they chose.
Now, I agree with the colors. If this is a submission that was intended for each of these pieces to be wrapped around like one side, one image on one side and another image on the other side, I think it's beautiful. I love the colors. And so then the format score
Yeah.
from me would increase.
Right.
But then again, the theme is just,
No, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I'd go with the 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the same on theme.
okay.
Yes.
Does everybody just want to, do you just want to have this as one, judge it as one submission then?
Yeah, I would say.
Yes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If we
Yeah,
could.
that makes more
Awesome.
sense for one side to be on one side. But
Okay. 16. Okay. Moving on. This next submission
is
here.
that a logo though?
No.
Kalispell Tribe.
Yes. This is submission number 8. This is from Meadow Womack. She is located at 802 South Garfield Road in Airway Heights. So this is a local Airway Heights submission.
Okay.
Where
I
is the
know right
Airway
off-
Height? Where's the Airway Heights water tower? Am I missing that?
Is he by Parks and Rec?
The Airway Heights,
Rec Center?
Sunset Park.
yes,
Okay,
Then there's the correctional facility tower, which is also quite prominent. So
yes.
one is green and white, one's orange and white.
I have a question on like the potential use of a logo, though. Wow.
I don't have an answer, but I think you should ask the question.
Yeah, could that, I mean, that seems.
We
like it
normally
would
wouldn't
be-
allow it. And also too, I think for purposes of this project, I would recommend to my leaders to not use it.
Yeah,
I'd agree.
yeah, that seems like a big no-no right off the bat to
Yeah.
me, because we're trying to promote the art, not necessarily any specific brand.
Exactly. Also too, again, we want to be featuring Airway Heights. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, the Kalispell tribe, the Spokane tribe, Fairchild are all elements surrounding, but again, we want to feature Airway Heights specifically.
right.
And so even though this has a lot of really cool images, I really like what they did with the typography, with the treatment. It is very disconnected. There's not really any kind of cohesiveness here. It's got a little
Yeah.
bit of everything. There's like this little cupcake thing going on in the corner, and then the playing cards and stuff. And I feel like this just is a little bit of a what would you call it? When you throw everything together in a pot kind of thing and just see what comes
Art.
out.
looks like clip art to me.
Yeah, although to tell you the truth, it looks like there's a little bit of originality here, especially with the typography, because I'm looking at the Airway Heights. I'm like, no, you probably don't just find that online somewhere. Somebody actually took the time to probably design those letters, which is really cool. Cool. It doesn't hold together. The whole thing is a bit disconnected. There's all these different pieces kind of thing. I mean, for instance, that little piece where there's the tree and the clouds and the little prairie grasses kind of thing, you know, if you were to expand on that, if you will, you know, and incorporate maybe some of those design elements, that would be great. But otherwise, it's very disjointed. It's very like there's so many different pieces trying to make a connection, and they're not making any kind of connection. Like the tulip, where does the tulip come in, or the strawberry, or the cupcake? So, or the
Yeah, it's not a cupcake, Lisa. I think it's popcorn.
oh, is that okay, thank you. That must be and then there's the envelope with a heart on it, but you know, and then the water towers. So thanks for enlightening me. But I'm just, yeah, I just feel like this is just kind of all.
Does it have a second side, or is this the
No.
graphic? So if that was to stretch all the way around, the format would be kind of.
Yeah, that right. Yeah.
I know for me, in terms of format and theme, I'm gonna go with a 2 on both of those.
Okay.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you on that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, the use of the logo really scares me, though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
So-
looking at the greetings one with the little postage stamp on it. Where is that? Is that in like an island nation? There's beaches there. We have
It looks
beaches.
like
that
Diamond
almost-
Head. It looks like Diamond Head in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Be there, but-
yeah, it looks like a Hawaiian stamp for sure.
So 2 and 2.
So everybody is 2 and 2 on that one.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
All right, we will move on to. This one here, and this one also, the compression kind of didn't do it any favors here, but it looks like a watercolor piece
Okay.
that she took a picture of. So this is submission number 9. And this is from Missy Kupka. She is at 12706 West Pacific Avenue in Airway Heights. So she is also a local.
I really like it.
Yeah, I like the color scheme. The wheat that's down in the bottom definitely touches on the the fields that are around the West Plains and stuff.
And you know what? Those white lines look like the wind blowing through, and it's very windy
Yeah.
up here in West Plains. So I kind of like this from a standpoint of being very, like, from a theme, it seems to be very solid.
What's hiding behind the window there, the pink square?
So the pink square is actually the outline of the city of Airway Heights.
Okay.
It has to be, yeah, because they're showing the. revitalization.
It looks like a Rock'em Sock'em robot to me, but
This actually was my favorite, and I see Airway Heights in this. This one is very, very modern, but it just, you know, like you said, the white lines depict the wind, you have the wheat flow, you know, the grass flowing, and then the image of the city. This was my favorite piece. So this one I'm going to give for format, I think it would work beautifully wrapped all the way around. So I'm giving it a 9. And then for theme, I'm gonna go with a 10. I really like this one.
You know what else we should do? We should, because this looks like it was done on watercolor paper. She's got I even see her little signature there. We should display this. Even if we don't choose this, we should probably, because we were talking about doing installations in the library, and where else were we talking, or the
rec center.
yes.
Yeah, I'll give an update on that at the end of the meeting here.
Even if we don't choose this, this is a beautiful piece. This is a really beautiful piece. And I have a feeling that if we saw it in person, it would even be more impactful. So if there's any way that we could possibly, if she doesn't, you know, if we don't choose her, this person, we could actually use this piece in some other place. I think it's just dynamic. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, and in terms of format, I really like the universal way it looks like it would wrap. So long as we can get a big enough file size without losing resolution, that sort of thing. So for format, I'm gonna go with a 7 just because there's a little bit of unknowns kind of in that. But as far as theme, yeah, I love the wheat, the wind. I didn't know that was the outline of the city, so that really ties it together there. So I'm gonna go with a 9 on theme.
I'd go with a 10 on the format, because I can tell you right now that because of the way it needs to stretch around, that this could actually be adapted. So I think this is very adaptable to what we want to go with. I think this would work really well. Well, actually this and then a couple other pieces, but this one were good. I give it a 10 on the format. As a publisher and an artist, this would work.
Lisa, did you have a score for theme on this one?
I'd say 10 as well. I'd say this is great. I really, really, really like the colors. I like the originality, very much hands-on. I think this would really appeal to a lot of people. And I think it would definitely go with our whole revitalization theme in terms of, you know, it just kind of draws in the changes that we're kind of making here. We're bringing in color, we're bringing in life, vitality, and it definitely pulls all of that together. So I like it a lot.
Lynn, did you have thoughts on format and
Yep.
theme?
Format an 8, and I would give this 10 as well for theme.
And Michaela?
I agree with Lynn, format of 8 and a 10 on theme.
Sure. All righty. So this is our last submission. There are, I believe, 3 separate submissions here. Let me check third one real quick.
Okay.
Maybe there are 4. There's 4. Okay. So we can look at these individually if you'd like, or we can look at them as a package. Just let me know. This is from Chris Garza. Contact information was not provided, so I do not have an address, so I do not know if this person resides in Airway Heights or not.
So I can tell you that they probably, because of the submission 10.1,
live close by, because this looks like the ridge, as you look west. Across the river, going down like old trails that way. That I really like actually 10.1 a lot. I like it a lot. The rest of them, maybe not so much, and I'm not sure about the format. But I really like, especially the sunset and the bold vibrancy of the horizon there with the little trees on the horizon. I think it's pretty cool, and I think it would make a very dynamic wrap as well. So I think it's a good contender. I love the colors in the clouds. It's got the really dark kind of thunder cloud thing going on along with the sunset. And our sunsets are so spectacular out here. And then the little bull pines with the sprigs coming up. I really like this one. Oh, it looks even better on yours than it does on looking on one screen, looking on the other. It looks even better on this one. The colors are really good. I don't know about you guys, but I think it looks pretty.
So the submissions appeared to be pictures of a painting. So I believe these are on canvas paintings, but
Okay.
if that helps.
Yeah.
So in terms of the residency scoring, though, if we don't know the address and
We did
that's sort of
request
kind of
it.
all or nothing, yeah.
Yeah, so it's up to you. We're not gonna revisit this unless you'd like to, so.
Yeah, I mean, as a journalist, I definitely never lean on speculation. So if there's no address there, I'm gonna have to go with a 0 since we don't know.
Okay.
I agree, because I can see, there's definitely some.
Well, and plus it kind of goes back to following the rules, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure requesting that so that we could verify that. And no matter how good an artist piece is, if they don't follow the rules, they don't follow the rules. I mean, that's why we look through packets before we apply for grants or submissions, because there's a lot of rules, and the artist to make sure we're fitting all that before we submit it. And if this was a film festival, it would have already been rejected just for not having that in there, is what I'm saying.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm in full agreement. So in terms of format, this piece I think would look fantastic around a utility box. I do like the colors and just the thought behind it and stuff. In terms of format, I would give it probably 6. Probably could be a little more generous, but I don't know. I'd go with the 6 on format, and for theme, it's close to nature. It does resemble quite a lot of ridges that we have around here, plus the sunset. So I'm probably going to go with a 7 on theme, but probably only for that one. The other ones didn't look like they fit the area quite as well.
Well, we'll go through them one by one.
I'm going to give 0s on all of it, because to me, if something's disqualified, you're not supposed to judge it. Like that's how it works in my world, is if you send something in and it doesn't meet the qualifications, it doesn't get looked at. It doesn't get considered because you didn't follow the rules. So I don't feel it's fair for me to give it any scores when it didn't follow one of the basic rules, which is residency. I mean, that's a big part of why this in the first place. If residency didn't matter, we wouldn't have made a very specific call with a very specific area. So I love the pieces. I think they're beautiful. But again, if this was in any other sort of arts arena, it would have already been disqualified and we wouldn't be looking at these pieces anyway.
I agree with Michaela. I mean, Zach reached out to this person to try to get an address and no response. So that's kind of suspect in a lot of ways too.
I would give it a 0 for residency, but I would definitely give it, I'd give it an 8 for theme. I think it's actually really reminiscent as I think about going down old trails, and looking over the hills.
I don't know if this person has ever been here or not, but they got it pretty close. It's not too far off, and I really like the colors and the boldness, and I think it would work really well in terms of a wrap. So if we could determine the residency, maybe that would help alleviate some of that. Of course, you know, you give it a 0 for that, but otherwise, I think it's a really nice piece.
Tina, did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, the only one that I would even consider would be the 10.1, if that's the one we're still on. And
Yeah, that's
I
good.
do love the colors. I do think it does represent areas within the Airway Heights region. And so I gave it a 7 for theme, and also a 7 for format, because I think regardless of not providing dimensions or anything, it still would be a good wrap.
Yes, I agree. That too. I didn't give it format, but I would agree with that. I think it would
Okay.
fit. I think it would fit pretty good. Even if you had to stretch it a little bit or something, I think it would be able
Right.
to.
It's just that our sunsets out in Airway Heights are just so phenomenal sometimes. I think even though this image represents it, I still don't think it gives it justice.
Oh, that would be tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one, as nice of a piece as 10.2 is, I'm gonna go with zeros because it doesn't fit our area really at all for theme. I mean, it's a nice mountainscape, but it's nothing that we see around here really.
I would
Do you want me
agree.
to? Yeah. You want me to maintain your format on all these because the format's pretty similar?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
speaking on kind of what Michaela was talking about, did we not put anything in there about disqualifying people if they weren't in the area? I thought we tried to troubleshoot that a couple times, but
I don't know. I don't know if we had said that harsh a language in there.
Yeah.
And we still have the ability to basically say you didn't meet the minimum qualification, so it's done. That's
Yeah.
totally fine too. I would say that some of the pieces that have been ranked fairly high, you could argue that they didn't meet the minimum qualifications because they didn't submit them in the correct format relating to how it fits with the box.
Yeah.
Basically what we asked there. So I think it's kind of a gray area there. So, but whichever direction you guys want to go, we can go in. So,
Okay.
Maybe our recommendation should be on, next time we do this with the scorecard, that we give a copy of the scorecard to the entrance on the
Mhm.
instructions, so they know what they're being judged on.
Definitely.
sure. We can go to the last of these. If you have any additional thoughts or comments on them, we can do that. I think with just knowing the residency is going to zero out, it's going to take it out of it's going to take it out anyway. So
And there's nothing in the last 3 submissions that inspire me to consider them for our solution for this particular project.
Yeah.
some votes. Okay.
I agree. This is Tina. I agree.
Across the board for all of it, for submission 10.3, 10.4, and, or yeah, 10.3, 10.4, and 10.2. So
Okay.
in my part, it would be zeros all the way across the board. Although I'm sure format would work, but I just, they're not even worthy for me to say that they would be suitable, so. But appreciate their submissions, appreciate them giving the stuff to look at, so.
Okay. Well,
I'm pretty
That is-
encouraged. Got so many submissions, and that, you know, we've got some really kind of cool stuff to choose from here, so.
well, based on the scores, submission number 9, this one here is by and far the highest rated. It got 141 out of 150 possible points. So it's very highly rated. The next closest to that was submission 5.1, which got 116. So it's like a 30-point gap there. So
Yeah,
that's that. If next steps, I mean, if you're okay with selecting submission number 9, we can reach out to the artist and we can begin conversations about, obviously the main issue here would be the technical side of things, making sure we can blow this up and get it wrapped and all that, so we can get in contact with them.
yeah.
The artist's name again on this piece is Missy Kupka, or Kupka, excuse me. And she is an Airway Heights resident, so.
Awesome.
Yeah, I feel we're all really happy probably with that choice. You know, we have a resident artist and it's a beautiful piece that's abstract and new and different, and nothing that I've seen in Spokane, right, kind of has that same feel. So I like that it's this sort of different vibe, but still very Airway Heights. And I think it's really special piece.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's abstract enough where it'll start conversations when people kind of, if they're walking past it or over in the area. I think it's definitely a really powerful piece. So.
And again, I'd like to encourage the council, the city of Airwood Heights to find, we're advisory, we can't, tell people what to do, but I would say if there's any way possible to have this on display as a collaborative part of our Arts Council direction, it would be really cool. And it would probably be a really good thing for the artist as well, because I can see this isn't completely, it's done on watercolor paper. So once it's scanned, once we've got some way of high-res scanning it and it can be blown up to any size it needs to be for our purposes, I think it would be wonderful if she would lend it to the city for a period of time for us to just display it as kind of a collaborative, tie it all in together thing. It's very beautiful. I think she did a great job on it. So
Great. Well, we will move forward with submission 9, and we'll get all the technical background stuff going, and then we will hopefully, have some. We'll reach out to her and give an update next month.
Awesome stuff. And just a quick question, has there been any more conversation on when the utility box itself is going to be replaced?
Heather and I actually talked about it this morning. We have not heard from Avista on that. So we're going to reach out to them. Heather, do you have an update on that?
It's not a Vista. It's a light control box. It controls the light signal at the intersection, and WashDOT was going to replace that cabinet sometime this year. They encouraged us to wait until after that happens. So I can reach out to them and see if they've replaced the cabinet yet.
Okay.
So we will have an update on that for you next month and see if we have a timeline on that.
Cool.
Okay. Well, moving on. Heather, I might need your help here. I'm sorry. I'm with my
Well, I've been here the whole
computer.
time. I've just been like,
I know.
I've been really engaged in your conversation. I was really tempted to jump in several times too.
For the reviews of the policies and procedures for attendance, I just don't have it in front of me, and it's going to take me a second to pull it up. Can you pull that up real quick? The policies and procedures for the Arts Commission we adopted.
You want me to pull them up?
Do you have it?
I'll look on the drive.
Okay. How about we'll race, and if I find it first, I'll pull it up. Sorry, we obviously we wanted to put as much time and effort in to make sure we had all these submissions together, and yeah, was the priority. But I think if we pull up an old packet, we can get it up here really quick, and this shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, we definitely need to discuss it regarding Cosette and some missed meetings, so.
All right.
Sorry, the server's really slow to load.
I have it, I think I have it on my. Actually, because I kept all of them. Agenda rules, here we go, right? Is it rules? Arts Commission rules? Rules of.
It should be
It's-
the rules and procedures. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I had it, but I don't.
Well, we have 2022 Arts Commission rules.
Yeah. Do you
Okay.
have that?
Yeah, I'm just
I'll
pulling
stop.
it.
I'll stop share and I'll make sure you
That's the
have.
October 22 revision or whatever it is, right? And then we're officers, meetings, quorum. Attendance, excused absences, 6.7, is that what we're looking at?
I believe so. Yeah, well, I think Heather's got it here for us to look at.
Okay. Failing to attend 3 consecutive meetings without being excused. Okay, gotcha.
Get past it already.
For those not in the room, we had to replace our screen in this room 2 weeks ago. So there's a lot of moving parts going on in here. So again, normally a little more prepared, but yeah.
Well, it's funny how things don't talk to each other either when you replace all these components. It's like, wait a minute, now the screen's not talking to my computer and.
Yeah. The mouse is too far away from the computer right now, so I don't know if you noticed how kind of clunky it was, and that's because I'm sitting too far away. So I have to reach when I want to use the mouse.
So 3.2 on the screen goes on to talk about members of the commission to be removed from the city council chair with the concurrence of the city council, including unexcused absence from 3 regular meetings within a 12-month period.
Okay. So,
so this the conversation is involving Commissioner Cosette Phillips, I believe is her last name.
Yep.
So I did provide you with some information regarding attendance on that. So we believe that she has met this requirement. So we just wanted to give you some time and space to have the conversation with the commission.
that was kind of the idea is we could just discuss Commissioner Phillips' attendance and see what we wanted to do moving forward. There hasn't been any correspondence. She hasn't gotten a hold of me. I've sent out 2 emails. I don't think she's been contacting. Has she been contacting you guys at all?
No, we
Yeah.
sent an email out last month and never received a response.
Okay. So it doesn't, I mean, I know she's probably super busy with life and everything, but she hasn't really been communicating as well, which I think that's more where the problem comes in, is if she has to miss meetings, it'd be fine, but if there's no communication, then it's just kind of leaving us hanging. And I don't want that to be an issue. So I just wanted to gather your all thoughts on it. And
Well, I mean, here's the thing, I've had to miss meetings, but I've reached out and let
Yeah.
you all. It's not that hard to just give a heads up, hey, I can't make this meeting because life schedule, whatever.
Yeah.
And somebody's not communicating with you, you just, honestly, at this point, you have to assume they don't want to be involved with you because they have your contact information. It's easy when these meetings are, and if somebody doesn't want to be involved, we don't want to force them to be involved. But we need to move on, I think, as a commission and get maybe somebody in who does want to be involved and who will show up to the meetings or at least communicate.
Absolutely. I'm 100% in agreement. So
It's unfortunate that, you know, she wouldn't actually communicate, hey, I can't do this anymore, but you know, you have to come to this this position where you say, well, we're gonna kick you out, but I'd have to agree that
Yeah. It's-
unless there's some extenuating circumstances that we aren't aware of, we've actually accommodated her. Aren't the reason that we're having these on Mondays, the second
Yeah.
week of the month, is because of her schedule, I thought. So
Yeah,
so I guess perhaps we've done what we could to accommodate our council members, and I really appreciate the city's efforts to bear with us in all of this learning process, because I know for me particularly, just trying to make sure that I don't do anything wrong or say anything wrong or step on any toes, you know, but try to get, you know, move forward has been a little bit I wouldn't say it's a road fraught with peril, but it's been a little difficult as far as navigating that. I have to say thank you very much, Heather and Zach, for all of your help with that, because that's definitely made a big difference. And I think making this a more effective council. So I think we have some really good members, and I appreciate every one of you. And I hope that we can move forward and, you know, just get some good stuff accomplished. I'm excited about the stuff that we're doing. I'm hoping that we get to see some progress.
I just
absolutely.
brought up another section which indicates that the commissioner actually forfeits their office for missing those 3 consecutive meetings as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have to look, but this may have been.
So if I don't get in touch with you guys, you try to get hold of me, because I will never do this to you.
We appreciate that because we
I
want you at our
will.
meetings.
If you don't hear from me, you find me. You know where I live.
Lynn, Tina, do you have any thoughts on the situation?
No, just that, you know, we all read the, you know, the expectations of our positions, and with the 3 missed, I think it's just that unfortunately, that's just, we have to move forward with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty unprofessional to not even communicate. So, I mean, it's not that hard to just write a quick email or reply to a meeting notice and say, hey, I can't be there. You know, when Zach sends it, it's not a big deal. But I mean, if she would have been able to do that and give an explanation for why she's missing, that's one thing, but she's not even communicating. So
Yep.
we should just move on. And I agree with Michaela that we have a spot for somebody else who wants to be on this commission, you know.
Yep. Absolutely. And if that read, or if I was reading that right, and she has formatted or forfeited, not formatted, I've got formatting on the brain. But if she has forfeited her seat, what would the process be to refill that seat?
Do we need to actually before the next election cycle?
What we do with any vacancy in a commission is that we do an advertisement with the requirements for the commission. We put it out to a couple of different sources. So the city website, we put it out to Facebook. We try and time it appropriately to the city's quarterly newsletter, and you know, ask if you are aware of anybody who might be interested to share the information, as we do with the city council. We provide a period of time, usually no less than 30 days for a recruitment period. And then from there, the formal process is that the applications are submitted to the city council for consideration, and the city council chair, with the vote of the council members, will appoint someone. But in between that space, we have had, at least the planning commission has been interested in meeting and greeting candidates prior to their names being submitted to the city council, so that the planning commission can explain a little bit about what the commission does, the time commitment. It's an opportunity for applicants to share a little bit of their background. And then, you know, they go forward to, of course, the city council. regardless of whether they meet the minimum quals or not. And then the council makes a decision, and they normally pick someone who does meet the minimum qualifications for the commission position. And then once they're appointed, then they formally can join the commission for meetings.
Cool, thank you so much.
The next city council planning meeting is on the 23rd, is that right?
The next meeting of the
Planning,
city council.
no, the planning commission, I'm sorry.
No, the planning commission doesn't review the applications, it's the city council.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, I guess, you're right. I guess I was, so the whole thing with this arts commission thing, it's really been helpful to be part of or to kind of vicariously be involved with the planning commission. So I guess that's what I was asking. The next planning commission meeting is the 23rd? of this
Yeah,
month?
there's a special meeting on the 23rd.
And that's just kind of a side, because I know actually a lot of what we're doing here has something to, I mean, even with the Arts Council, needs to kind of collaborate and work in synergy with what you guys are doing as a planning commission, with the whole vision of Airway Heights and what that looks like in the future. So I want to be there for the next meeting. I missed the last one. How did it go? Because you guys got together in person, right? Did the planning commission get together in person last time? I think they wanted to.
Yeah, we started meeting in hybrid format, so some of the commission members still join via Zoom and others attend. And so when we did our last meeting at the end of July, we had several members were in attendance at the city hall.
It sounded really good. Sounds like you got a great commission. So, and I'm hoping that our arts commission can keep up with you guys. And I'm excited to hear about the Airway Heights days coming, or the Airway Heights Day coming up too in the next week or so. So a lot of good things happening with the city. I'm pretty thrilled to be part of this. And I hope our arts commission efforts will coincide and enhance what you guys are doing. So.
Absolutely.
So what would be your thoughts on Cosette? It sounds like the group feels as if she's met the minimum requirements of the unexcused absences.
Yeah, I know I feel that way.
Okay. So our next step will be to provide this in just like a briefing to the city council and announce that we'll do a recruitment for a new arts commission member. And we will get those materials prepared and get them put out as quickly as possible. I don't know that we would have someone elected into that position by the city council by the next meeting, especially if we give 30 days as a minimum to apply. And I say 30 days because we find that too long, you don't get 2 applicants, too little time, you don't get applicants. So you
Yeah,
kind of like Goldilocks and try and find the right fit. So we'll get that out. We can share the recruitment information with the commission, and please feel free to share it with anyone who you think may be interested, and we'll work on getting that position filled. And we'll also follow up with the council for formal process to have that position vacated, so it's available for appointment.
okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay. And next on the agenda is commissioner reports, it looks like. Are there any commissioners did recently that they want to share or anything like that, or? Nope, no reports. Any staff reports?
Yeah, just real quick. So we are working on the rotational art in city property policy. We did get some comments back from Public Works and some from the folks here at City Hall. Nothing major. I decided to not bring it today because I wanted the focus to be on reviewing the submissions. So we're going to make those tweaks and we're going to bring a draft with those comments built into it next month. And then we can hopefully go from there. But most of it looks pretty good. And it'll be nice because now we have a list of local artists that we can reach out to if we want to have kind of an initial pool for considerations for that. So.
Okay. Sounds good. And on that, it looks like our next meeting will be scheduled for September 11th at 2 o'clock. So, does that work with everybody? Does the second Monday still work with everybody in terms of scheduling?
I think the second Monday works out much better than the first first Monday. Oh, goodness. Yeah, whatever works out for you guys. I have it down for the 4th, but I can put it for the 11th. That would work for me.
I can tell you all, I won't make that meeting because I will be in Merced, California. Music video I directed is nominated for Best Music Video. So I won't be back. I am not getting on Zoom.
Congratulations.
I'm back.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
So consider this my formal notice. I will not be here next month, but I will probably not be thinking.
Thanks for letting us know and good luck on that. That's awesome.
Thank
You
you.
can schedule it for a day when you're
Yes,
here.
congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome. We could schedule it for a day you're here though, because the only reason we were doing it these days was to accommodate Miss Phillips. So I
Well,
don't
no, Mondays, they normally work, but it's just I'll be out of town that particular weekend. So I mean,
know about
I
Tuesday.
like mess up this, once we get on a routine, if we mess it up, then we're all going to forget when the actual.
Yeah.
Well, we did used to have it on Tuesdays. We didn't used to always have it on Mondays. So I prefer.
Attend if it's on that Tuesday anyways, because I would also be flying in that morning. So I'm just saying.
Tuesdays are pretty terrible for me now. So
So talking about Monday, the 11th then, right?
Yep. Monday, the 11th at 2 p.m.
All right.
Awesome stuff. And it looks like we're done. So we can call this meeting to adjourn at 3:54. And thank you all so much for the great discussion and all the work. It's really moving us somewhere, I think. So awesome stuff. Thank you all.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thanks, everybody.
Lisa mentioned Airway Heights Days. That's this Saturday from 10 to 4 over at Sunset Park.
I am excited. Good job. I cannot believe it. Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, girl. That's awesome. It should be
I
fun.
just can't wait to watch somebody go Gallagher on the
Great.
watermelons.
Oh my goodness. Great. Okay, I'm going to bring my lawn chair.
All
All
right,
right.
bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Yep, thanks. Have a great afternoon.
You too.